It feels like I'm not wearing anything. This thing is crazy. It looks sexy as fuck, which is the craziest thing. It makes riding so... What's up, squids? We are back with another video, and today I'm going to be giving you guys my first impressions on the KYT KX1. Now, when I say first impressions, this is literally my first impression of it. I've had the helmet now for like 3 days, but I haven't had the chance to record this video. And I wanted to make sure that my first impression is actually the first time I go out on my first ride. Now, I got it in the box, and I put the visor on and test fitted it and made sure everything fit. But this is the first actual ride. I just left my house. Haven't even been on the road for like a mile yet. Already, this thing feels like nothing. I can already tell this is gonna change how much I like riding. This thing is just crazy light. I love how this thing feels. And the airflow is amazing. Okay, so something else I'm noticing is even when I turn my head, it's honestly really weird because I'm not used to this, but even when I turn my head, it has no effect on the helmet. The wind doesn't move my head any certain way, which is really weird. And I think the biggest thing right now that I can't get over is just how light this thing feels. That's honestly all I can think about, is just how light this thing feels. Like, it feels like I'm not even wearing a helmet. This isn't going to be my first impression on this aspect of the helmet because I've already been looking at it for so long now. But this thing just looks so fucking clean. Like, if you look at the side, the rear spoiler goes back so far on this thing and it just looks so aggressive. I do need to get a pin lock for it because it's already fogging up. Now, let's take it on the freeway and let's see how loud this thing is compared to everything else that I've worn. I still can't get over how light this thing feels. Like, it feels like I'm not wearing anything. And the thing is, it's not just the weight, because I've had light helmets. And this helmet is obviously light, but it's not that much lighter than other helmets by that much. So I feel like it's just the shape and the design. The way it cuts through the wind is really crazy. If you guys are watching this video, my Bellstar race review is already up. And comparing this helmet to that, they're pretty similar in weight. I don't know the exact specs, I can put them up on screen, but this one feels way lighter than it should. I will say this helmet is pretty loud. I ride with earplugs, so for me it's fine. But if you're not riding with earplugs, I don't know. I don't know if I would recommend it if you don't ride with earplugs. Either way, I recommend everyone ride with earplugs, to be honest. Let's see how this thing feels hitting the speed limit. Crazy. There's no movement at all. Absolutely no movement. That's amazing. Definitely a loud helmet. I don't think I put my earplugs in fully, and normally that's not an issue, but I can definitely hear wind getting through, a decent amount of wind. And I have all the vents closed. The mic quality will be a good test of how much wind is getting through. It's not the same because you might get more wind noise in the mouth area compared to the ears. It's not a perfect test, but it will give me an idea and give you guys an idea of how loud this helmet really is. Alright, squids, we're back. It's the next day after my GoPro decided the video was going too well, and it decided to take a shit on me. I don't know what it was, the SD card or something. I reformatted the GoPro. We should be good now, so we'll get back to the video. And it is kind of nice that the GoPro went out, because since then I've gotten another 4 or 5 rides in. I've really started to like this helmet. The biggest thing, I've already said it so many times, is just how light this thing is and how it just cuts through the wind. I don't even feel like I'm wearing a helmet right now, which is the craziest thing. It makes riding so much more enjoyable. And the nice thing is this helmet actually has a higher safety rating. I don't know all the different ratings there are. All I know is this one has more than my last helmet had. While it's lighter, while it's more comfortable, I'm not getting any neck pain from how heavy it is, which I did on the last helmet if I rode for a long time. That's honestly my biggest first impression about this thing. I will need to get a pin lock for this at some point. I was riding last night and it got pretty cold and it fogs up extremely quickly. It does clear up really quickly when you start moving again, but if you don't get on the freeway or you're under like 30 miles an hour, it takes a little too long for the visor to defog. Another thing I'm noticing, it's not really a bad thing, it's kind of just something that is. I have the mic placed near my mouth, and on every other helmet I normally put it in there pretty easily and it's not really too smashed. This helmet, I actually had to take the back clip off just to get it to fit inside. It's not necessarily a bad thing for you guys unless you're recording videos, unless you have a mic in this area right here. Also, another thing I wanted to touch on, yesterday when I first started the first impressions on this helmet, I was saying how it's pretty loud. I went ahead and changed my ear tips because I've been using the same earplugs now for a while, and I use the foam kind. Technically, they're not earplugs. They're these little foam tips that go on the AirPods, but they're an earplug style. So anyways, long story short, I've had those for too long, and they started cracking. I put a new pair on. You're supposed to change them out after a certain amount of time. I put the new ones on, and honestly, I don't notice a difference with the noise anymore compared to the Bell Raystar Flex and my qualifier. Still, I think slightly louder, just slightly louder than the qualifier, but it's nothing crazy. First few rides with this thing, biggest things I've noticed are visibility is fucking amazing. I can see everything. And then also how light this thing feels. Not just the actual weight of it, but how it cuts through the wind, how you really don't notice you're wearing a helmet. There's not a lot of wind buffeting when you ride this thing, especially at a high speed. And then the looks, obviously, you can't not say this thing looks sexy as fuck. I think a lot of that is that rear spoiler, how far that thing goes back, and I love it. It's fucking amazing. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. I am gonna do a longer full review on this helmet once I've lived with it for a while and I've worn it for at least a few months. But this is just my first initial impressions with the helmet, getting it out of the box, wearing it for the first few rides. So hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, if you hated it, go drop a like on the video, subscribe to the channel, and if you guys want to get a hoodie, one of these right here, visit supersquidshop.com, and I will catch you guys in the next one.